This podcast is going to have a bunch of stories. These stories may or may not be based on facts. To any law enforcement officials, this is not an admission of guilt and is not admissible evidence. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, what's up?
Hello.
Welcome. So, I have permission to use all of your real names, so let's all introduce ourselves one by one, starting with the most important person, me. I am Jan, aka Gug. I am at the forefront of the best podcast ever, the one that you are listening to right now, Gug Speaks. And
Sold more copies than the Bible.
Not surprised.
yeah, it's very impressive, and all of these other people are losers. Okay, who wants to go next?
Rafi goes next.
I go next? Okay. My name is Rafi, and I am a peer of Gug. Yawn.
Peer of Gug. That's your title.
I'm Gug? Okay.
No, you're peer of Gug.
Oh,
Isn't-
yes, I am peer of Gug.
Gug's more of a community than it is a person.
It's more of a
It's kind of like Asgard. Asgard is not
you
the place, it is the people.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
we
exactly it.
we are Gug.
we are all good.
We are Gug like we are anonymous.
Alright.
Okay, I'm Elliot.
Also,
Nice introduction there to Elliot.
Also Gug.
Also peer of Gug.
And I'm
Okay,
Parker.
okay, we'll restart. I'm commander of Gug. Rafi is peer, and the rest of you guys are peer of Gug.
Okay. Let's get this going, Jan.
Let's get this
Yeah.
rolling. Okay. So, first story. I was a wee little lad, like maybe 2 or 3 years old. And my parents, they took me to the university. There was this, like, museum exhibit. There was, like, this replica of the Great Lakes, right? Being the wee little lad I was, an autistic, an ADHD person, I was just like chilling around, but then suddenly I had to use the bathroom. So, I saw the water and I was like, huh. So, whipped my dick out and I just pissed in the lakes. And then my mom saw and she just snatched me and she fucking ran out the door.
Like, do you think that there was enough pee to turn the water yellow? Like,
It's
how
possible.
pee diluted was the water?
I was a very hydrated child. I'm not sure if the pee was yellow at this point.
It
What?
would go back there today and get a water sample.
I don't think it's still
Yeah,
around
Jan's
today.
DNA.
I think the exhibit was just around for like an event.
So it's like a traveling exhibit. So your pee could be
My
Anywhere in
pee
the
could
world
be
by
in the
now.
fucking world.
Just on the road again.
It's like I ruined this entire night just because I had to go. And I mean, they should have known. They should have known.
Were you not wearing a diaper?
I could walk by that time. I could toddle. I could toddle
Okay.
around. I just,
You just
no,
really
I
had
need
to
to
go,
go.
so you're like, this is the time.
dude, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I've always said this.
Exactly.
I
Saying
think
of Gug.
Saying of Gug.
I think I have a pretty good one.
Pretty good one.
So what should we call him? We'll call him Jim.
Jim.
So like in our class we were recording movies for just like an English assignment,
Yeah.
and we were recording them outside. And when we all went inside, this one guy, Jim, he went and he hid in a huge pile of like cut up grass. We were all inside for like a half an hour, and then all of a sudden our teacher just goes like, "Wait a minute, where's Jim?" And like some of us knew where he was, but we didn't say anything. And yeah, the principal was like out looking around for Jim. And yeah,
Maybe
Jan, I
just to
think-
hide it.
Jan, I think you were one of the people who knew where he was, right?
I knew where he was, and I was not about to snitch on my boy Jim like that.
I was considering it. I was like,
Why
I
would you
was
do that?
legitimately concerned.
Why would you do that? Jim is fine. Jim is in the grass. It's from whence he came.
Did they find him, or like did end up snitching?
I think, I don't think they could have ever found Jim without some informants. It's most likely that he just snitched on him. Yeah. Very, very funny story. Oh, Rafi, I think you have something to say, don't you?
I do.
You do know. Very good.
There was a story of Jim and some other classmate making a bunch of dolphin noises all the time.
I remember that.
It was a reoccurring sound.
I
was
remember.
recurring for multiple years on end.
I
It still happens to this day.
Yeah, I'm on the bus with them, and it happens.
Okay, I remember this kid Jim. He also made a bunch of sounds like one time in the middle of class. But then when I moved a water bottle, the teacher was just like, "Shut the fuck up!" When he was making sounds through the entire class, he was like, "Yeah." And then when I moved the water bottle, the teacher was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, Jan?"
You would always say buttermilk too. Do you remember that?
I do not remember saying buttermilk. You're making this up.
He said buttermilk.
No, I'm not. He said buttermilk. Like he was like obsessed with buttermilk. He thought it was the funniest thing.
Okay, buttermilk is funny. Okay, guys, I gotta put a sign up on my door. Technical difficulties. Right now, I'm gonna put on something.
We'll just cut this.
No, we're not gonna cut it.
Okay.
We're not cutting this.
All natural, baby.
Okay.
He's not here.
Okay,
He's not here. We can talk about him now.
I'm gonna put on.
Talk shit?
Hey, I have headphones on. Okay.
Why was that?
Okay, well, you guys can listen to this.
Some nice ASMR right there.
We should make an ASMR channel. Elliot's ASMR.
Excuse me.
I'm telling you, a cooking channel.
Yeah.
We should.
Cooks.
Viewers.
We should
I'm
buy a
Viewers.
ghost kitchen. We should buy a ghost kitchen.
I'm re-entering the hole.
All right.
Fuck.
You can say that again.
And that was Local Forecast by Kevin MacLeod, also known as the Elevator Theme. No.
Did he make the elevator
Yeah,
theme?
No. I put on the elevator theme for our technical difficulties, Rafi.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, another good Jim story is
Jim.
I don't remember why, but he was sent down to the office,
Right.
and he was with our principal. And for some reason, the principal left him in the office alone, and he left
Why
the room to go do something.
This is a very unwise
I know where
decision
this
on
is
his
going.
part.
And he decides to call our class from the principal's phone.
Yeah.
And I think Jan answered the phone, right?
Yeah, I was like room 21 student speaking or whatever.
What did he say to you?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember being very confused because I heard instead of our principal.
And then
Oh,
somehow Miss found out that Dylan was on the other side.
Yeah.
So then she called down to the office and was like, "Hey, you need to get Jim out of here." So then they sent him to we had this room where sick kids would go while you're waiting for your parents to pick you up.
Oh
And,
yeah.
But there was
Yeah.
also a phone in that room. So I just called
Yeah,
again.
just called again. Oh man. Wasn't there another story with Jim where you can unplug the phones from
Oh,
the main
yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Mm.
So then he
Yeah.
unplugged our class phone and just stole it.
And then he went into the other class because mini story. Our class was split up because we were just so fucking loud all the time.
So
Our classrooms
obnoxious.
literally had to be
Yeah.
separated. So then he and it's the classrooms are right beside each other on the other side of the hall. So he just walked out of the classroom into our classroom and say, "Hey Jan, the phone's for you."
With just the detached phone.
Just a
Yeah.
detached phone.
Just holding.
And it's just Dylan, what the fuck are you doing? I also, on this topic of phone shenanigans, so in the classroom where there was a regular classroom area, and then there was a shop right beside it, and that shop had a phone. So people would call that phone from the phone within the classroom, and we'd have conversations with each other like 5 meters away from each other.
Through this phone.
Just-
And Jan, do you remember when you took like a ball of twine and you just wrapped the shop tables
Oh
in
my
this,
God.
like twine?
Yeah, there was just twine everywhere. Like you
Literally
couldn't
just
move.
twine
there was just
everywhere.
twine.
And the
Like a
shop teacher
Spider web.
did the shop teacher ever catch you?
I think I just blamed it on Jim. I'm like pretty sure I just blamed it on Jim.
Blame everything on Jim.
You blame him. It's so believable too, because that's such a
Yeah.
thing that Jim would do.
Yeah, it is something Jim would do.
Or
If you have a
then,
Jim at home, blame it on Jim.
Blame it on Jim.
we had a new teacher because our teacher went on maternity leave, and she was just teaching, and all of a sudden she went, "Where's Jim? Guys, do you see Jim?" And she was like freaking out, and she called down to the office and was like, "I lost a student," and was just sitting in the room. He wasn't even talking or anything. He was just sitting there on his Chromebook.
Did they even notice?
Right.
No,
He'd always hide behind the Chromebook screen.
Yeah.
He'd always be very interested in whatever he was making. Interesting guy. He makes hentai
Okay,
now.
me.
Okay,
Yeah.
me.
They'd like
Oh my gosh.
Google Slides games.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Me, Jim, and this other guy. He was the guy who made dolphin noises. We'll call him Jimothy, just because we all made this slideshow where we just get stock images, and it'd be like, we'd make them say stupid things like, "Did you go to the mall today?" Maybe.
There was one that was like, wasn't it like Bill Nye with abs?
Yes.
And he was like
made
climbing the Empire State Building.
Yeah, I remember that. And we made this like mega slideshow of like 200 slides called "Okay Me," and then we just narrated the entire thing. And then sadly we lost the entire slideshow. I think only.
I wonder who got rid of that.
Who's the owner? Jim or Jimothy?
It was Jim.
I think
Could have been like.
It was. I think Jimothy's the one who deleted it.
Could Sandals have done it?
Sandals?
Yeah.
Was Sandals a part of it?
I feel like he
I
probably had
think he
access
was.
to the slideshow.
No, Sandals. I don't think so. I don't think Sandals Jamaica did that. Oh, Parker, I think I have a feeling you have a story, don't you? Yeah, you have.
I just want to say another Jim one.
Jim.
There was one
Classic.
part. He dated one person in our class.
Right.
I don't know who I called him. Anyway, he just dated this one person. It was just so awkward. Like in our French class, they would just be like cuddling together, like because it was didn't like some days we
Holy
sat on the
shit!
floor or
No,
something?
no,
Yeah,
but-
we'd be sitting on the
science.
floor.
In
Yeah.
science, and also in science, they like sat
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh
my
yeah, and then
God.
Mr. got like
Yeah.
freaked out.
No, that
Yeah.
that wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was in grade A. Before, and then the best thing is, after that, she transitioned into a man.
While we're on Jim, I wasn't there for this, so I only heard about it because I usually got a ride to school and I wasn't there like super early. But he brought like was it like rubbing alcohol or something
Yeah,
and a
oh
lighter?
my
rubbing
God,
alcohol
yeah.
in a spray bottle. bottle.
And he was like spraying the side of the walls and like spraying. Did he ever spray it at people?
He didn't spray. He
I-
sprayed it
I don't-
pretty
I don't
close
think-
to people.
He sprayed it like close to people.
And he
Yeah.
got suspended before the day even started.
Yeah, because there's
What?
like parents walking around.
Yeah.
Okay. While
Parents
we're
there.
on the subject of fire, one time I just decided to bring a barbecue lighter to school, and I just showed it to everyone. And then for some
just showed it
reason,
to
I was
everyone?
sent down to the office. I just
wonder
got a
why.
Barbecue lighter.
I really have no
There's no
reason.
harm in
Y'all just want to make a
barbecue,
barbecue. I think y'all just want to
I
make a
literally
barbecue.
just wanted to make a barbecue, bro.
It's just
John,
kinda
were you
just
there?
a
Were you
run.
there when they did the suitcase on fire?
I was one of
Oh
the
my-
people. Okay, let me set the scene. Our school has a big forest, but it's connected by a path. One is part is owned by the city, the other part is owned by the school. We call it the first woodlot and second woodlot, okay? So, second woodlot is usually where me, Jim, the arsonist, we'll name this other guy Mr. Aryan, and then
Yeah.
and then this third guy Hunter, just cause of how much of a sucky person he is. So me, Jim, the Aryan, and Hunter, we made a fire, you know, and there was a suitcase in that second. The weirdest shit just showed up in that second woodlot. There'd be like
Bunch of
supplement bottles.
pills.
There was
But it wouldn't be like Adderall, but it'd be like vitamin
Like fish oil pills.
Yeah,
fish
like
oil.
vitamin
Wasn't there like a
B12.
smashed guitar in there as well?
Oh,
that, like, got
yeah.
buried or something.
Yeah, like there was a pit, but then we set the suitcase on fire, and then Jim, God bless his soul, picks up the suitcase and starts fucking swinging it. He just starts
And he's
fucking
like going through airport security.
security. He'd pick it up. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go for airport security while the thing is just like burning. It's just
Oh, and then one time I walked out of I was walking home and I was walking down the hill close to the woodlot, and I see Hunter just like sprint out of the forest, and he's like we walked into the forest, and there's two grade 12s, and when they saw us they ran, so we took their bike. And then Jim just comes around the corner riding this massive bike with the biggest smile on his face.
We will
Another
disregard
story.
that then.
let's get a Yon exclusive up in here. So next,
You have another
next,
peeing story, don't you?
I have a few peeing stories. Let's just do a 2-in-1, one after the other. But first, I was friends with this kid. Let's call him Mr. Cool Guy, because that's what he is. So I was friends with this guy, and we were climbing a tree when I was like 6 or something, and nature called. So I just
When you gotta
pissed
go,
off the
you
tree.
gotta go.
You gotta go, you gotta go. This is the catchphrase of Gug. So I just pissed, and then his mom saw just me pissing. She was just like
out of a tree.
out of a tree in her front yard. Then the next thing I know, like they cut off the branches and you can't climb that tree anymore.
How high?
How high? As tall as their house, probably like 20 feet.
And that's how high you were.
Yeah. Another
Oh
time.
my god.
This is embarrassing, but I was way older, and my bathroom was like taken up by my sister. She'd use it for like 20 minutes at a time. So let's just say I peed in a cup, and I threw it out my window. When I was like in 6th grade.
How big was the cup?
How big was the cup? Probably like 500 milliliters.
Did you use the whole thing?
No.
Did you
I
pee
filled
the
it-
whole
I filled it
500
up
mils?
about halfway. I just thought better safe than sorry because I don't want to use like a shot glass as my pissing. Speaking of pee,
You didn't have to make like 2 deposits. Fill it up, empty it, then fill it up again.
Oh, would you be
Oh,
able to
don't-
stop though? Like,
Okay.
You can figure
Depends.
it out.
Depends on how much you have to go.
Okay, speaking of pissing, I have to piss. So let's take let's take like a 2 minute. Okay.
all right, I want to talk about one story here. With a guy, we'll just call him Redneck Man because
Redneck
that's
Man.
literally what he is. He's just a redneck man. Got a mullet,
A
like a
city-
Cheeto stash.
And it's funny because he lives in the suburbs, but he's like the most redneck man you can fucking meet. He has a
Yeah.
pedo stash, a mustache. He makes fire starters in his spare time.
He makes his own like rings out of melted like mini sticks.
Yeah, it's just he's a redneck.
No,
He's the
he-
absolute
And,
definition of a
okay,
redneck.
I just want to talk about these fire starters. He like just gets wood chips, puts gasoline, puts it in a bottle, and it's like there you go, here, and he just sells them.
Buy
It's
it,
just
buy
like-
it.
It's like maybe if you did that in fucking Dirtwater, Michigan, you'd get some money, but this is suburban Ontario, you dumbass.
And we're not even allowed to have fires in.
Oh,
We're not.
we
Oh, you're just gonna dox us like that?
It's a big city. Shut the fuck up.
He can blur it.
Yeah.
Bleep
Okay.
it,
So
bleep it.
anyway, this guy, we're in like our art class. That's also our language class, right?
Yeah.
And we've got these big tables that we all sit at. But then there's this one like area in the back corner of the class that this redneck guy he just claims, and it's just his area. And if like you even go near his area, he like flips, he freaks out. So one day we all just start chanting like, "Get out of my area, get out of my area."
No, not just one day.
Absolutely insane.
We did this a lot, man.
Yeah, we did it a
Na-
lot.
We messed with this kid a bunch.
naturally, we had to piss him off because he was also the most insufferable person you could ever meet.
He really was.
And
He still is.
and he would get in fights with like this other
Sandals.
kid.
Sandals,
He's got
Sandals.
Sandals and another kid too,
Jim.
and they would just be like the most pathetic fights ever. No, not Jim. They'd be
They-
like the
Inbred?
most
Like,
wait, are you
pathetic
talking about
fight. Yeah,
inbred?
inbred. Yeah,
Inbred,
they'd be the
inbred, yeah.
most pathetic fights ever. Like,
They would like grab each other. Like this one time, they just like grabbed each other's shirts and they like
Yeah.
pressed each other's
In-
shirts.
in-
It was
yeah,
so weird.
they like
Yeah.
mounted each other in the change room.
Yeah, sandals, sandals and redneck just mounted.
There's a story of Inbred throwing hammers at people in the shop when they're like trying to win.
Literal hammer bro from Mario Bros. Yeah, no. And this one time when Arian, he was hammering something with a rubber mallet, and it just went flying. It just
It was supposedly an accident, but there's
Supposedly
no
accident.
way.
There is no
Okay,
accident.
Maybe he just hit it really hard. I'm on Arian's side here. There's no way he's that. Arian's not that much of a dumbass. He's not inbred like inbred is.
And when we say inbred, he's actually inbred.
Yeah, on the topic.
At
of him,
least allegations, but it's pretty
on the
obvious.
we'll say the backstory of inbred, so it's not just like we're bullying this kid. I mean, we are, but let's just make it sound like we are. And so this kid one time, just out of the blue, he says, "Oh yeah, my parents are cousins," and then the information travels across the class like wildfire. And then he changes the story to his parents are second cousins. And then it's like, we did research, this kid's from Iran, and cousin marriage is legal in Iran, so it's not completely implausible that his
It's
parents...
not
It's
a
not
big
off the table.
stretch.
It's not off the table.
It is not a stretch at all. I mean, like, realistically, are they cousins? Answer...
Probably not. but
Probably not, but it's very funny. We're friends with this kid. We're not bullying him, and friends.
well,
Okay, friends is a stretch of the imagination. We are bullying
Yes.
him, but we're not bullying him because we're great people.
And this one time, when we were eating at that big table in the science room, Sandals just like jumps up onto the table and like whips a whiteboard right at Inbred's face,
Right at his
like
face,
as hard as he could.
just for no reason. Literally,
Yeah,
literally.
and he tried to play it off like an accident.
yeah, it was. It was. You never know. You don't know his intentions.
Yeah,
he has
I'm
mu-
sure.
he
I'm
has
sure it's an
muscle spasm.
accident when you whip a whiteboard at somebody's face as hard as you can.
That guy had goals.
Dude. Speaking of Sandals, me, Sandals, and Arian, we were on Sandals and Arian. Sandals and Arian live on the same street. That's not important, but we were on their street, and there was a freshly poured tile of concrete on the sidewalk. So naturally, you do what you see in TV shows. You gotta write your name. So then, me, being in 6th grade, I said fuck on the thing. And then Arian and Sandals, they had a moment of clarity. They were like, don't do that, that's stupid. So I changed it into funk. But then Arian's mom saw it, and she was like, what the hell? Why did you write fuck on the sidewalk? So then Arian supposedly had to go with like a fucking sandal or something, and he just had to flatten the entire thing out. It was just...
You
and
ruined
then
the construction worker's job. Like,
Yeah, maybe he got
Twice.
fired.
he got fired, bro, because he let some kids write on the concrete that he wasn't watching.
Well,
It's
he
his
should be
fault.
watching
Exactly.
it.
He
It's
was
his fault, really. His fault, really.
It's always their fault.
Always
Construction
their
workers have it easy.
fault. They have it easy, bro. They
Well,
gotta do.
cousin's a construction worker, and he makes 300,000 a year supposedly.
Yeah, the age
So,
of 18.
according to Arian, he makes 300,000 at the age
Yeah.
of 16.
Yeah.
You know, by the
At
time
the
he's
age of
30, he
18.
should be making. No, he
He'll
also said
make
it-
like at least a mil a year, right?
he said he
At
like when
least.
he initially said he made 300K when his cousin was 16.
Yeah. Like at this point, he could retire.
He could retire and he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he lives with his parents, so it's not like he has a living expense or anything.
It's not like dude, that guy should be paying rent if he's raking in so much bank.
Yeah.
You should be giving me money. Like I need the
Come on.
money.
Dude, come on.
'Cause-
I'm the one without a job. Fuck you, Rafi.
Give it
I
to
need
charity.
the money.
Give it to
Give it to
Oh, that's
charity.
right.
Charity of Gug.
the charity of me. You
The
should make a
Gug
GoFundMe
treasury.
or Patreon. Oh, you should make a
Oh,
Patreon.
Patreon.
I shouldn't make a Patreon. My following's not big, you idiot.
Oh, okay. How about just a PayPal and like people can donate if they want.
I have lots of followers in theory, but not in practice.
Well, I have a good story about Jan.
Yeah.
So we were doing a tornado drill,
Oh.
and Jan, you know, he was a little bored, and they're not the most entertaining. We were just standing around in a washroom.
Mhm.
So he decides that he's gonna play solitaire.
Yeah.
in
Okay.
the
Elliot,
washroom.
back it up. I played solitaire like all the time.
Yeah, everywhere.
When I was
Yeah,
in seventh
like-
grade.
Yeah.
Like on
In class.
on,
You'd get his
on,
cards
the,
taken away.
on the tables during the lectures, and the thing
Yeah.
was, it was the teacher's cards. So it was
Yeah, and he was not a first offender either.
he has done it multiple
on,
times.
on the dirty bathroom floor.
Yeah, and she freaked out.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I think of I cringe at this story, but it completely makes sense that she freaked out when I took her cards and just put them on the bathroom floor of an elementary school where there's like shit and piss where the like second graders go. So it's
Where
like, dude, oh my gosh, I
where
just
Big
remembered.
Nate would go sit in the stall and just
Oh, Big
read.
Nate. Oh my gosh, yeah. Dude, Big Nate just sat in the stall. Is this kid Big Nate? Because he always read Big Nate. He would sit in the stall and he'd read for like 25, 30 minutes.
More. He would be gone for the entire period.
Yeah, he would just always ask to go to the bathroom, and then the teachers would be like, "No, you can't. You're not allowed anymore."
You lost your washroom privileges.
Dude. You can go to the bathroom if someone monitors you.
One time
There
I-
were multiple occasions where someone had to go and like
Yeah,
see if
I
he
had
was
to go
okay.
like hunt him down, see if he was still in there.
See if he was still alive.
And I think sometimes he would go to the upstairs one.
So he
Yeah.
could
Oh,
avoid people.
Yo,
Oh,
speak.
boy.
Okay, but speaking of the bathroom, one time we were in 7th grade and I walked into the washroom and there was just a shit in the urinal. Some kid
Oh, what?
just took a shit in the urinal, and it was just like,
Who shit in the urinal?
I don't know. I'm assuming some like second grader like went out on the run and just shit in the urinal and ran out. Probably had some crusty ass cheeks as he ran away.
Oh, and then there was that kid who was part of room 7. And we like the school had to go into like temporary lockdown every time he left the room. Like
Yeah.
if he was they would go home early and show up a bit later. So when he would show up, they would send the announcements, room 7 entry in progress. All the teachers wouldn't let nobody
You had
could
to
be in the
stay inside.
washrooms. You had to stay in your room. And
He just like roaming around.
yeah, because he would like they
Go to
couldn't
the
control
washrooms,
him,
yeah.
and he would like
No.
go into the washrooms and like run around with his shirt off, and like he used to run into like this one teacher's room and start playing the piano.
Wait, Eddie, how do you know
Yeah.
this? Have you seen this kid? Because I never saw the kid.
I
just
never saw
remember-
him either.
I just
think
remember
I
one.
looked at like one.
I just remember one time I was in the washroom and they said room 7 entry in progress, and then I heard the door open and I was extremely terrified. But I don't think it was him. But I was just so scared that this kid was about to burst into my door and like eat my dick.
And then the janitor would always like knock on the door and be like, "Anybody in here?" And then you'd just be like,
Oh my god.
You
So,
would
so,
always
whistling stuff.
so many times I was in the bathroom. Okay. Sixth grade, seventh grade, me. I was comfortable taking a shit in the washroom because I was I was mentally disabled. I don't anymore. It's something I've grown out of, but I would be taken just like a floater, and then the janitor would come in and he'd just be humming, like. and then when you heard him speak, it was either I don't know if he just spoke in gibberish or if he spoke in Italian. It was one of the two languages. But I had no clue what this man was saying, like a good all the time. I don't think I ever.
And then sometimes he'd be on the phone in his office, and he would be like yelling at somebody in Italian, and then we would walk by him, like our class, and it would be loud, and he'd give us like the stink eye and slam the door.
Oh my gosh, I remember me and Short Stacks. So me and Short Stacks, we created in our head a conspiracy that this school was actually a front for the Italian mafia, and there was a basement at the bottom of the school. So what we did is we contacted the people that made the blueprints of the school, and we threatened him. We threatened them. We were like, if you don't give up the blueprints to the school, stuff will get very bad. It's just like, I'm remembering this story of when I was in 7th grade and I just threatened some city planner who was just doing his job about a basement that didn't exist.
Really? You called them and
I
asked for the
No,
blueprints?
we emailed from our school accounts. From our school accounts. It was just
my
like,
God.
we're untraceable.
We're untraceable.
You should try looking for that email. Try to find that.
No, I'm
Good
pretty
enough
sure.
for a podcast.
Dude, the moment I got out of elementary school, for some reason, I was just like, I'm deleting all my emails. Because I swear, I had 5,000 emails in my school inbox. Because it's just like, they will send you an email every time someone, like, fucking breathes on the Google Classroom page.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Like, I swear, one day, I got at least 60 emails. Just because.
But then the thing is, too, sometimes the emails are delayed. Like, the teacher will
Yeah.
post something while
Then,
you're at
like-
school. You'll come home and you'll get the notification on your phone.
It's just like, bro, I already did this assignment and submitted it.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, did you know you have to do this assignment? Yeah,
Yeah.
I fucking did.
The assignment is due an hour ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And
it's
then
like-
this gym kid, we had, like, a wall that had some, like, a hole in it with some exposed insulation.
I'm like pretty sure he kicked it open.
What, I
Yeah,
think,
people
wasn't
would,
it,
like, kick the
wasn't it
wall because-
sandals with his scooter?
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
they kick
yeah.
it open.
He
'Cause it's like
do
a
he do like a
portable,
fucking
right?
Yeah.
tailspin and just smash it open.
Yeah, and he just picked up, like, pink insulation, put in his
Maybe.
mouth, and went, mm-mm.
He also, being
It
the
was a healthy chunk, too.
being the pyromaniac that he
not
is,
healthy.
being the pyromaniac that he is, he also tried to set it on fire, and then he got sent home again. Oh wait, no, he was put in school suspension because of that.
And he would eat cigarette butts off the ground.
Okay,
Oh my god, that's right.
I think now's the time to tell the story about Hunter. Hunter.
Which one?
Which one?
We're not going to be talking about any of the serious ones because Hunter has done some fucked
Yeah,
up shit.
yeah.
But nice story. So Hunter, the smartest man ever, brings a knife to the school and he's showing it to this one girl who's gonna remain anonymous, and then inbred sees it and he just fucking runs to a teacher and tells them, and then later the police like fucking raided his house and took all of his illegal knives, and this man had karambits, butterfly knives, probably a switchblade, and it's just like everything confiscated from these illegal knives he bought online. Like,
I don't think they're illegal. It's just that.
No.
Some of them were like
butterfly
Did he have
knives
the
and
illegal ones?
karambits are not legal.
He
Oh,
didn't have
yeah,
a butterfly knife.
No, he had a
karambit.
bayonet.
He had a crambit.
A bayonet. I don't think that. No, bayonets are legal. I think
No, they aren't.
bayonet.
They aren't?
Wait. Why
No.
not?
It's
Because
just a
it's-
fixed blade. You're allowed to have a fixed blade.
Yeah, it's a fixed blade.
Yeah,
so
it's
there.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
big one,
legal.
the big knife. The big
Okay.
knife.
Legal, yeah. You can
Okay.
have one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
okay.
but like the Crambit is too, but it's like
yeah,
No,
only
it's
purpose
sure.
is to kill humans, right?
Yeah,
So
Eh,
they
no,
just...
no,
Karambit's-
no.
yeah, so
It's
illegal.
because the blade length of a karambit is less than 3 inches.
Well, it's also just the intended purpose. Karambit was designed to kill people, not like hunt or anything. So that's
Yeah.
why it's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Mm,
But it's
Makes
just
sense.
like this guy literally got raided by the police because he
Yeah.
decided I'm gonna bring a knife to school. You know, when I brought a knife to school, I just kept it in my bag.
and then he proceeded to buy more.
Oh my god!
Oh,
You remember that one? There's this one. We'll just call her Goth Girl.
There's
She
multiple goth
brought.
girls.
She Goth like I. Yeah, I'm
Blonde?
sticking with Goth Girl. Okay, and she would bring like knives to school, but like
Oh!
nothing ever happened to her.
oh,
And
yeah.
she pulled what? Did she pull one on you, Elliot, before?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. We were at this field trip and we were playing like this
Hide
game
and
where there's
seek?
like different levels of like people. There's like carnivores, herbivores, like humans, and I
Mhm.
went to like go tag her, and she just like pulled it out and was like, "Don't come any closer."
All
Like-
over a fucking game. I remember one time in art class, she pulled out a pen and she like took off the cap and it was a knife and she just pointed it at me. And she was, I probably said some out of pocket shit, but she fucking pulled a knife on me. And then I was like, what if I tell the teacher? And she's like, I'll fucking kill you if you do. And it was
Honestly,
like,
I wish one of us would have pushed her to that limit. Like I don't think she would have done anything.
If she would have pulled it on me, I would have done something. She never did anything to me. But then
Yeah.
again, I've like never actually spoken
like
to
literally
her.
being threatened with like a knife. That's, and it's also that pen knife was illegal because it's a concealed weapon.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, whew, we have two people who like to have illegal knives in our class. I'm assuming.
Let's
I'm,
go.
I'm assuming.
Let's make it
I'm,
more.
I'm
Let's
assuming
make it
free.
more.
I'm assuming free because I'm assuming for the certain person is called who has at least one legal knife.
Yeah, I'm certain somebody at least does. That person will remain nameless.
Remain
but I'm
anonymous.
certain
Remain
somebody
anonymous.
does.
Then do you remember when Jim would take the wet floor sign and put it in inbred's locker?
In Bread Locker, and he got so mad. He got like
one of those
unnecessarily
full-on
mad.
wet floor signs.
Like-
One of those
like-
like full-on ones.
Yeah,
And-
the yellow ones.
The yellow
Yeah.
one, and then Inbred would get so mad he'd like slam him against the locker. Yo, I remember one time Inbred just pushed me into a crowd of people because I was pissing him off.
And then they would always go under the carpet in the hallway. There was like a
Oh,
mat,
yeah.
and they would go under the mat and use it like a blanket.
Oh my god, yeah. I remember earlier, like a while ago, grade 4 with Mr. Cool Guy. I remember he ate a piece of cheese, like a gross ass piece of cheese that was under the carpet. It was like old and moldy. Mr. Cool Guy.
I think that's a good segue to the ham story.
Damn! Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Okay, here I'll start off because I remember I was there. So
I
it
don't
was a
remember, I was
short
not in the
stop,
class.
Or it was the short guy. What was his name? What did we call him?
Short stack.
Short stack.
Short stack. Okay, so we brought this like weird looking ham, like we thought it was turkey. We didn't know what the heck it was. Then somehow, I don't know who did it, but
I
we
think it was
threw
Sandals.
it at a window, and it just
Oh.
stuck. Like it just stayed there. It just
And then
stuck
we
to the
had
window.
more
Like
ideas.
this radioactive piece of ham. It
Okay.
just stuck to the window.
Okay, wait,
And
who?
then we were like, what if we throw it? There's like those weird like vents in the ceiling, right? We were like, what if we throw it in the vent? And then we just throw it in the vent and try to get it stuck in there.
And we
We got it in there.
Okay, what was it? Sandals who threw it in the vent? I feel like that's
I think
definitely something.
No,
So-
no, Sandals was in our room, Jan.
Yeah, Sandals
Oh.
wasn't even a part of it.
Uh,
Like I think it was like
Was it
I think
Hunter?
I think it was Hunter as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
It was like
Hunter.
all of us. It was like Hunter, Short.
I didn't
Stack,
do it. I watched it.
Oh, Ari, speaking of throwing, before you finish the story, I remember when Arian just threw a pencil on the roof and it stuck.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
couldn't get it down.
Yeah, there's
But-
so many that got stuck.
But finish the ham story because it gets better.
Yeah,
And this
so we've got
introduces
the-
us to a great character.
Yeah, we got the ham, and then I forget how it happened though. But the teacher came back into class, and like we still had that ham. It wasn't like
Just-
in the vent or anything. Like we still had the ham. I don't even. I forget this part. I remember at the beginning, but I forget this part.
It
Wait,
was
so
you
stuck
guys
in the
Tegan,
vent,
Tegan.
and at some point, because the air was blowing, it knocked it
It
down
dropped.
onto the desk. It
Yeah,
dropped,
And this was like a
it
month
dropped
later
on
too.
someone.
A
Yeah, it was
month
even like
later.
it dropped on someone, and someone's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is this ham?"
Yeah.
The
Just, like,
teacher takes it.
crusty old ham.
The teacher's
The
name is
teacher
Mrs.
takes
Bitch. Teacher's name is Mrs. Bitch.
Yeah.
And
She takes it and she puts it in the drawer, like the teacher's drawer, and says to the
She's
kid,
like-
"You can have this
You can have
later."
back later.
This teacher was a sub, and she was the worst.
Damn.
And she was so.
And then- and
She has-
then-
there's another story with Jan and that teacher.
But okay,
Ruler
but
story, I
okay.
think?
Let's finish this story. Then our regular teacher comes back and she opens the drawer, and she fucking sees the ham, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, Mrs. Bitch just put it in there."
And she did not believe you.
She
Yeah,
didn't
she
believe me.
didn't.
She,
I don't blame her, but
I don't blame her. It sounds like something I'd do. I would definitely be the one who just
There's so
put
many people in the class that would do that.
Yeah.
Aryan, Hunter,
Hunter,
Sandals.
Sandals.
Oh my
you,
gosh.
Any of them.
Inbred.
All of them,
Miss
yeah.
Vandermeulen. You know who I'm talking about when I say Vandermeulen.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Vandermeulen probably would have done it. And Jimothy. So Mrs. Bitch is the worst teacher I had ever. She was, first of all, she's just a bad teacher. I remember she was reading this book, and she
Oh my God.
she didn't know how to speak. She would be like, "So then the boat was in the sand, and it was and then the sand." She'd just enunciate words
Random words.
Just
Yeah.
enunciate random
Just,
words. Just put
And then she was like, every time you guys laugh, I'm gonna pause and wait till everybody starts laughing to keep reading. So
Yeah.
then we were all just trying so hard not to laugh. She was like just pausing in between every word.
because it was
Sorry
so
about the
What
funny.
was she reading again?
It was a
Some
stupid
book
book.
about the
Boat
boat in the,
the
desert.
sand. Boat in
Yeah.
the desert.
Was it called Boat in the Sand?
No,
Probably
no.
not.
no.
That sounds like a stupid name. Dude, they should have just called Harry Potter the Wizard Boy Who Killed a Guy. For real.
And,
he
and then
kill
we
a guy,
tried
though?
reading. We tried reading Lord of the Flies as a class.
And then,
That's
then we
not-
realized it was not a good book.
yeah,
I remember short stack, or yeah, he kept on like insisting that we read it.
Yo,
He's like, "Come
Short
on, we gotta
Stacks
read it, we
is
gotta read it. It's such a
obsessed
good
with
book."
Lord of the Flies, I swear to God. He's like, dude, it's
Yeah,
such a good
he's
book.
like-
It's such a good book, bro. It's like Lord of the
It is
Flies
good.
it's mid. It like out of the classics, it's one of the worst.
the writing is so dull.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
but
Like
Miss-
it's
Oh,
over.
okay.
It's over
I don't read
descriptive.
books.
let's talk about
Oh, I don't
this
like books
bitch
like that.
and the story where she sent me out of the class for getting a pencil crayon. So, so of course she can't teach anything, so she just gives us a fucking worksheet. And I don't have a pencil, so I'm like, hey, can I get a pencil? She just
You
ignores
never
me.
had pencils.
No, nobody
Okay,
had pencils.
no one
There
had
was, like,
pencils.
there was, like,
It was
two pencil
elementary
suppliers.
school.
Yeah.
Fuck off. So I went down to get a pencil crayon or at least something to write with, and then she looks directly at me and is like, "Go to the office." And it's just like, what
She
the fuck
agreed
did
to
I do?
let you get a pencil, though, right?
No, she didn't. She just ignored me. And I was like, I
Yeah.
need to fucking write, so I get a pencil. And she's like, go to the office. Now, okay, my other friends will swear I threw it at her, but I just put it down on her hand really hard, and it dropped to the ground. And then she was claiming that I attacked her because I just fucking put it down on her hand. It's like, what? I was going.
Yeah.
She like literally just sent me because I just got a pencil crayon. Just straight up.
I feel like everybody was a target when she was there.
Yeah.
Nobody was safe.
She
It's
hated
like
me the most.
hated kids.
Let's just talk.
Yeah.
Let's mention Miss Foster Child because she was also terrible.
yeah.
One time
Oh my God.
one time my Mr. Aryan, he brought in his guitar, being the semi redneck he is, and he was
We had band. We had band.
Yeah.
and he was playing some notes, and I stood up, and there was like five people standing up. Foster Child comes in because she's like the hall monitor or whatever, and she sees me, and she's like, "Go in the hall," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, go in the hall now. And it's like everyone else is standing up, and she's like, everyone else sit down, but you go in the hall. It's like she resented me for a reason I can't imagine, because I never had her. I literally never had her.
And then we saw her after we graduated, and she was acting like all
really
chummy
nice.
with us, and
All
was
chummy
like,
with us. She's like,
really
you were the
yeah.
biggest. You were the worst teacher who actually worked at our school.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
taught all the
Yo.
enrichment classes, and she hated everyone that wasn't in enrichment. Like,
Yeah.
everybody. She just
but-
despised them.
But like speaking of back on Mrs. Bitch, I remember my brother's girlfriend said she had her as a substitute in college. It's like-
oh, what?
and she also hated her because she's the worst.
Wait, she taught
No way.
college?
Yeah,
It-
no
it-
way.
it- it was-
She's
it was a-
not
it was a college-
qualified.
It was a college English course.
We know her nephew, Jan.
We do?
Yeah,
Well,
he's in the server.
Does.
He's in the server.
Rabbit
Well.
don't.
No.
no, the other one.
Rabadoont. It's Rabadoont, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get another story in here. It's getting dull.
It's getting
Okay, hold on.
juicy.
Guys, I'm dying of heat stroke. Let's take a small
Take a
Brief intermission.
let's see how far we're 49 minutes in.
I mean, you can leave it now. We could definitely do a second part.
I remember that, like, we just weren't allowed to stand up in class, like at lunchtime.
Yeah,
Like if you
yeah.
stood up, like that was a
which is so
sin.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
Jan
at,
would
like,
always
high
just stand up and eat. I
Yeah.
mean,
just like
Yeah, I
We
don't
just
think
walk around.
Yeah.
We just do whatever the hell we want.
Laziz.
Lizzie.
get some
Shout out to our guys at Lizzie's.
Yeah, shawarma on the rocks.
Shout out to my guys at Mosey's. Mosey's is huge.
Laziz is better though. Like for
No.
rice,
Okay,
and
for
garlic
rice
sauce.
I don't know what you mean about garlic sauce.
Laziz on the rocks, one line. That's the stuff.
See, I wish I could eat that garlic sauce.
Oh, Rip Bozo.
There's a L plus ratio.
Yeah.
So good. They have good fries.
I don't know what you mean. Like Mosey's is pretty good though. Like,
And the chili fries are kind of mid. They're like wet.
oh
No,
yeah.
chili fries are terrible. If they literally did anything else other than make them soggy, they'd be good.
Yeah.
But okay, I have another Miss Foster Child story. It's the Oreo one.
The Oreo one?
Yes. Jimothy. He just gave me his Oreos this one time. And so I took them and I started stacking them up. I started taking the cream and making a mega Oreo. And then
I
Miss
remember this.
Foster Child was just like, came in and she was like, "Wow, Jan, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm making a big Oreo." It's like, "Huh, that's a weird way to eat food." And it's just like, "Well, you don't have to eat it, do you?" And then she's like, "Go to the hall." It's like, what? Are you kidding me? It's like, she's being condescending, I'm being condescending back, you bitch.
Yeah, I know. It's just teachers abuse that power so much.
She abused her. I feel like
She did.
She went on power trips, and so did Miss Seashell. Seashell went on that power trip.
Yeah.
Seashell hated
remember-
me ever since I called her Miss Stupid.
The English teacher, one of the English teachers, she had like a breakdown during our class. Do you remember that?
I don't.
I
She
do.
was like,
do.
"You guys are
What?
so poorly behaved." The art teacher.
What was it?
Oh, grade
the
eight
art
teacher.
teacher.
Yeah, I do
The
recall.
art, was it the art
Yeah.
teacher or the very short sub?
No. Like actual art
You
teacher.
remember the very short sub?
Yeah.
She was like,
Chode.
she, no, don't say that.
A
Oh,
tuna can.
oh. Yeah, but she, Miss Monarchy just had a mental breakdown in front of the entire class. I mean, we weren't well behaved, but it's just like, screw you. We can do whatever. We also were on power tripping because we thought we had power because we were the oldest in the school.
We did have power.
Do you remember when Hunter left like he asked to go to the washroom like last 10 minutes of the day? He put on his backpack and he just walked home, and
Yeah.
he like
And
he
he
would have
showed
gotten
up at the
away with
window.
it. He would have gotten
And then-
away with it, but he had to go up to the window and like knock on it.
And then
He
Miss
just like
Monarch,
waved and smiled.
and then Miss Monarchy just like had him stay for like an extra hour.
Yeah.
He could have easily just ran off.
I also remember this one time. So story behind this is kids were not allowed in the woodlot for a while, and then only elementary kids were allowed in the woodlot. Like the moment. Okay, let me explain this. There's an elementary side and then a juniors and intermediate side. Juniors is grade 5 or grade 4 and up, and then elementary or whatever is like lower. And they're split off into 2 sides. But then only the elementary kids were allowed to have the playground. We're allowed to have the woodlot, I mean. So me and then a group of just miscellaneous like 5th graders, we just snuck into woodlot during break. And this was still the time of Mr. Star Wars, so we got caught, and he just made us write lines. And the thing is about me is I'm autistic, so I don't have great motor skills. So my lines were like very messy, and he's like, "Son, you have to write clean lines," which is like, bullshit. I have to write clean lines. I have a literal learning disability, and you're just like, write
You
better.
specifically too had an like a
I had a
IEP that said that you could use a laptop instead of writing.
Yeah.
And it's
But
just like-
I do understand why they didn't let him use a laptop. Control C, Control V.
Yeah. But like,
like, are you?
you can understand. You can give him a little break for sloppy
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh yes, cleaner lines. I want them so clean anyone
It's
can
just
read
like
them.
it's just like, oh, I didn't know you could cure like learning disabilities if you just told someone to try harder. Are
I
you in a
like that
wheelchair?
teacher, though.
Okay, he was a great principal, but that moment was
Yeah.
like stupid. It's just like someone's in a wheelchair, and it's just like, try harder at
Walk.
standing up, idiot. Stand up
Learn
better.
to walk.
Get up, you lazy
Okay,
vegetable.
it's time for another Yawn exclusive. Da 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 da. So this one kid, he was a nerd, just a big fucking nerd. So but we were like kind of friends. So I took his backpack, and there was this area in the woodlot where just water would fill up, and I just threw his backpack in the pond. And then I remember a few months later, I remember like a week later or so, it was just like, "Yo, why don't you have your textbook out?" And he's like, "Well, it's sort of soaked because you threw it into the pond." And then at that moment, that's when I started to feel bad about it, not any time before. Let's talk about other people's lives I ruined. Parker here. So this one time, the bike racks are right near where
Oh my
we.
god.
Yeah, it's this
I
story,
had
baby.
such bad luck with luck
I
with my
ruined
bike.
it too.
Oh, you ruined it too. I didn't even know. But
Like 3 times my bike got ruined.
but like I was just like, his bike was locked, and I just like pulled on it until his wheel was like fucking bent. His wheel was literally bent. And then the best part is, principal, Mr. Okay, I'm gonna be very careful
Gucci?
on this naming.
Jaguar.
Yeah, Gucci. Jaguar.
Gucci, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah, Gucci sandals.
there's a lot of other aspects we could name him by, but
You would
I
have gotten canceled.
don't. Shut up, Rocky. But
They don't know which one.
Mr.
They don't know.
Mr. Gucky, Mr. Gucci Slides, he was calling my mom about how I basically just ruined Parker's bike. And at that point in time, me and Jim were like on the roof right above his office. And Jim was like, he threw me a ball onto the roof. And then Mr. Gucci was just like, "Jan, what the fuck are you doing?" And Jim just runs. But I'm on the roof. I can't fucking run. So I had to be brought into the office during after school hours. Speaking of going on the roof, I did this twice during nutrition break.
And this like little girl saw you, and you just threatened her. You're like, if you tell anybody, what did you say to her? I can't remember.
If you tell
But it was a
anybody,
threat. It was a threat.
I threatened this little. Okay, first time, we'll call this man. I went up on. They decided, let's kick the ball onto. So there's like layers on the roof. They kicked it on the wall and tried to get it to bounce back, and it didn't work one time. Just like it's like, Jan, go get the ball. So I went and got the ball, but then okay, this man's name. We'll just give him a regular name. We'll call him Trevor. Trevor, him and his straw. He's like, I'm gonna go tell the teacher, and he's just like running over. It's like, dude, please, could you not be a snitch for once in your life? And for once, he actually accepted. But apparently the people who kicked on the ball on the roof didn't know how to fucking stop. Maybe they didn't learn their lesson or anything. So they just did it again. And lo and behold, they hit it on the roof again. And then the second time, these fourth graders who just got into our area, they just disrespectfully went to tell the teacher. But before I went to threaten them, and then Miss Blood and Gore, she's like, Jan, I know, I trust that you're good at climbing the roof, but just explain it to the principal and you'll be alright. But when I explained it to the principal, I got in trouble for some reason. And this is the one time Mr. Gucci wasn't like an absolute spineless freak, because I could punch someone in the face and he'd be like, okay, you're staying in for one recess. Well, I mean, he made me stay in for 2 recesses.
No.
For climbing on the roof. Me and the roof, man.
But kids would get in fights all the time, and he would basically just go, "Don't do that."
Yeah, he was so spineless. He's gone now. I hope he just decided to retire from the school board, because I don't think he could. Our school, I'm sure, is tame compared to some other schools.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one,
dude. I'm sure if he did, murder rate would be up by 12 billion. Okay, everyone, every member of Gug, say goodbye now.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye now.
Okay, that's not what you were supposed to say.
But you said goodbye now.
We're not close. I don't think we're even close to the end of all of the stories we have from our time growing up.
No, we can maybe do another 2.
Yeah, probably another 2. So we'll come back and we'll have some more stories, and for some minor characters that we haven't even mentioned yet. So
yeah,
but you guys know more. You guys know most of the important characters in the Gug cinematic universe.
Yes.
So everyone,
the GCU.
Goodbye.
This is phase 1.
GCU.
This is
Everyone,
phase 1.
I will see you guys in the next episode, which will come out indefinitely.